Everybody, my name is Tori Brame and this is Holy City Mystic. Thank you so much for being here. So today I have some questions about yods. These are basically like, what if the yod is a little weird questions. So the first one I'm going to talk about is retrogrades within a yod, and then the next one I'm going to talk about is conjunctions with a yod, and then we're going to talk about if the houses are a little bit wonky. So first one, retrogrades. What if your apex or your bases are in retrograde? What does that mean for the yod? What does that mean for the yod? So the way this kind of goes is all astrology is math. It's what is the planet, Mercury, communication, learning, and short distance travel and stuff like that. What house is it in? It's in the first house. Okay, sounds good. That's all about the body, who you are, how you look, stuff like that. So how you talk, how you personally talk, how you personally communicate, how you look when you're talking, all those things. House plus planet plus sign. Say the sign is Gemini. You probably talk very quickly. You have a lot of Gemini characteristics about you. Probably have very clear eyes, very intense. You are one of those rare people that thinks in words. Not everybody has that. So you're basically adding all these things together. So if you add a retrograde in there, you're basically just adding it on top of that. So if you have one of the bases or the apex also in retrograde, you're going to add a retrograde on top of that. And basically what retrogrades mean in the birth chart, my astrologer, I'm going to add her link below in case anybody wants to check her out. She's amazing. I've gotten a reading from her at least once a year, sometimes twice, every single year for like 3-4 years now. So she's amazing. Dropping her link below, name dropping her. But one way that she described retrogrades to me first was kind of an innie versus an outie. So if you have Mercury in retrograde, you may have been a late talker. You may be someone who thinks a lot faster than you can speak. You might also be someone with maybe some type of delay in learning, like you have dyslexia or something like that, where it's some kind of nuance to this Mercury in retrograde in the first house, in the sign of Gemini in your chart. So basically, whenever you have a retrograde, you're just adding on that retrograde to the meaning of that base or that apex. So it doesn't mean anything crazy like, it means you're going to be a fairy princess when you grow up, or it definitely means you're going to work in the sewage treatment plant. Like, it's nothing super crazy and specific like that. You're just kind of adding that nuance of that retrograde into the meaning that you have already built with the object, the house, and the sign that it's in. And now you just have to add the fourth part, which is the retrograde. I hope that makes sense. Don't feel bad if it doesn't. You need to ask me questions. I'll try to answer them as best I can in the comments. All right, so the next question I get all the time is about conjunctions. What if things are conjunct the apex? Is it multiple apexes? Is it just all in the one apex? How do you deal with that? So kind of what I do is if it's within the same degree, if it's in 1 degree, either applying or separating, I will treat it as one apex. Now, if it is 2 degrees away, 3 degrees away, but it's still perfectly within orb for the 2 bases, I will treat it as 2 apexes. It also depends on what it is conjoining. So if it's conjoining your MC, I'm probably going to treat it as 1 apex, even if it is a couple of degrees away and it's not within the same degree perfectly. If it's like Mars and Pluto or something like that, I'm probably going to treat it as 2 apexes. They're 2 planets. If it's anything conjoined your sun, I'm probably going to treat it as 1 apex. Same thing with the moon. I would probably treat it as 1 as well. So again, this just comes with seeing how it plays out in life. This is what I have found. You are going to be the master of your own chart. You are going to be the expert when it comes to that. And so if you feel like it's 2 apexes, treat it as that. If you feel like it's 1, treat it as that. There really is no rule of thumb as far as how to treat it and what orbs to use and all that stuff. Like, there's a lot of disagreement there. So whatever you feel is best, I support you. All right, this one is a little bit tricky, and it usually only happens to people who are born really high in longitude, So somebody born in Alaska, somebody born in Norway or Greenland or something like that, this is usually what it affects. It's what happens if both bases are in the same house. So if it's a perfect sextile, exactly 60 degrees apart, it is going to be 2 signs away. However, it might not be 2 houses away. So if you're using Placidus or Coke or anything like that, you might have really wide houses and then really tiny houses. So if 2 bases are in the same house, what do you do? Oh my God, what do you do? Well, I would interpret it exactly the way you see it. So both bases are in the same house. What would that look like? So if you have, say, your sun in the 3rd house, and it's perfectly sextiling your moon, also in the 3rd house, what does that look like? It's still a yod. It's still a true yod, but you just have to move that into the interpretation. And another thing I would do is just get you to move to either an equal sign house system or a whole sign house system, just to see what it looks like with that. There's no harm in just looking. So even if, you're like one of those people that's like, I will never use whole sign, I don't think it's valid, yada yada, whatever, just check it out. You don't even have to tell anybody that you checked it out. Like, just check it out in private, flashlight under the covers, totally fine. And just see if that is something that kind of feels more relevant than both bases being in the same house. So I hope that was helpful. I will do future Q&A yod videos, I'm sure, but if you guys have any more questions about anything, just drop them below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.